Hello, this is Max. The movie consists of 3 distinct stories centered around powerful kings. Don't forget to subscribe. In the first story, we are introduced to Longtrelis, a kingdom where the king and queen reside happily. They are beloved by the common people for their kind and selfless nature, almost like characters from a fairy tale. However, there is a small problem. The queen has a rare medical condition that prevents her from bearing children. Despite the king's efforts to find a cure through various means, including seeking the help of doctors and engaging in expensive rituals, her condition remains undiagnosed. As a result, the queen falls into a state of depression and becomes increasingly aggressive, engaging in arguments and displaying childish behavior. Little does she know that her life is about to undergo a dramatic change. One night, a mysterious man dressed in a black robe arrives at the castle, claiming to have the ability to cure the queen. This surprise is the royal couple, and the king angrily questions the man's sincerity. In response, the mysterious man reveals that the queen can indeed have a child, but it will require the king to go through significant hardship and potentially endure pain. The man explains that he has been using his extensive knowledge of nature to heal people. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance in nature, stating that if someone desires new life, they must sacrifice another. Intrigued and horrified, the king and queen reluctantly agree, driven by their desperation. The mysterious man then reveals the unusual process for the cure. He explains that the key lies in the heart of the sea monster, which the king must locate, slay, and extract its heart. The heart will then be prepared by a chaste and unmarried woman before being given to the queen for consumption. The mysterious man remains convinced that this solution will resolve the queen's infertility issue. On the following day, the king sets off on his quest to locate the sea monster. He discovers it in a nearby river, patiently waits for it to fall asleep, and stealthily enters the water to initiate his attack. With a swift sword strike, he pierces the creature's vital organs, but not without enduring a violent struggle that leaves him severely injured. Ultimately, the beast is slain, and the king manages to extract its heart before succumbing to his wounds. Despite his sacrifice, the queen takes the heart, hoping it will lead to the fulfillment of their desire to have a child. In the subsequent scene, a pure and unmarried maiden is discovered within the castle, and she is selected to prepare the sea monster's heart. However, during the cooking process, she experiences peculiar sensations and unexpectedly becomes pregnant. When the queen consumes the prepared heart, she too becomes pregnant, instilling hope and joy throughout the kingdom. 9 months later, both women give birth to their sons simultaneously, as if they were twins. The queen names her son Elias, while the maiden's son is called Jonah. As the years pass, the boys mature into adults, their hair retaining a distinct white hue, symbolizing their heritage from the sea monster. They share a profound and unbreakable bond of friendship, capable even of breathing underwater, much like fish. However, the queen harbors dislike for Elias spending time with Jonah, the son of the maiden. She persistently scolds Elias, urging him to find better companions, but he disregards her pleas. Frustrated with the lack of compliance, the queen warns the maiden to keep her son away from Elias, threatening both with expulsion from the kingdom if they fail to comply. Despite the stern admonition, the boys continue to meet in secret. In an act of mischief, they decide to play a prank on the queen, with Jonah donning Elias' attire and pretending to be her son. Unfortunately, their ruse is quickly exposed, and as a consequence, the queen banishes Jonah from the kingdom as punishment. Devastated, Elias makes desperate attempts to prevent Jonah's departure, but his efforts prove futile. Before parting ways, Jonah uses his knife to cut a tree, allowing clean water to flow. He assures Elias that as long as the water remains pure, he will be safe. With heavy hearts, the two friends bid each other an emotional farewell, promising to reunite soon. From that day forward, Elias regularly checks on the tree. For the initial weeks, nothing noteworthy occurs. However, the water suddenly turns red, signaling danger. Recognizing that Jonah is in peril, Elias leaves the kingdom without informing his mother. After days of relentless searching, Elias arrives at Jonah's house. Jonah has married a beautiful young woman who mistakes Elias for her husband, embracing him warmly. When Elias reveals his true identity, she becomes upset. The woman informs Elias that Jonah ventured deep into the forest 5 days ago and has not returned. Concerned for his best friend's well-being, Elias sets off immediately to find him. Meanwhile, with her only son missing, the queen pays another visit to the mysterious man, seeking his assistance. Once again, he informs her that in order to gain a life, she must sacrifice one. With no other options, she reluctantly accepts the terms. Meanwhile, Jonah finds himself stranded in a dark cave, injured and frightened. It is revealed that a flying creature is pursuing him. Just as it seems Jonah is about to meet his demise, Elias arrives and valiantly fights off the creature with his sword. He manages to slay the creature, displaying his bravery and courage. However, a shocking twist unfolds as it becomes evident that the creature was none other than Elias' own mother. She sacrificed herself to protect her son. In the final scene, Elias and Jonah return to the kingdom, and Elias assumes the throne, prepared to lead their people into a new era. Following this, the movie transitions to the second story, introducing us to an exceedingly lustful and arrogant king. He indulges in the company of women and alcohol, heedless of the state of his kingdom. The only thing missing from his life is a loving wife, a prospect that should be easily attainable given his immense power and wealth. The narrative introduces us to two elderly sisters who live near the palace. Despite their old age and solitary lifestyle, their voices remain remarkably youthful and melodious. One sister, Dura, is cunning and self-centered, while the other, Emma, is honest and sincere. They rarely leave their home and have chosen to remain unmarried, seemingly content with their secluded existence. One morning, as Dura sings, the king overhears her captivating voice and instantly falls in love. He is enthralled by her beautiful singing like never before. Intrigued, he goes to her house, hoping to catch a glimpse of her in person. However, when the king knocks on their door, the sisters panic, fearing their true appearance will be exposed. In a rush, they devise an excuse, and Dura requests the king to return in a week, claiming that she would be more comfortable then. Enchanted by her voice once again, the king eagerly agrees. In the days leading up to the king's visit, Dura and Emma labor tirelessly to make their hands look youthful and beautiful. Dura tries various herbal remedies to hide the wrinkles, but to no avail. Emma, however, has a different approach. She keeps her finger in her mouth for several days, making it appear youthful and flawless. When the king arrives as scheduled, Dura nervously presents Emma's finger as her own, hoping to deceive him. To her surprise, the king is completely captivated by the young and exquisite finger, believing he has found his true love. However, the sisters are not yet out of danger. If the king discovers the truth, they will face dire consequences. To mitigate the risk, Dura proposes a condition to the king. She will only be with him in total darkness. Agreeing to her terms, the king proceeds. In the subsequent scene, Emma attempts to tighten Dura's body with glue, aiming to make her appear youthful once again. At midnight, a palace guard arrives in the darkness and takes Dura away. Unaware of the deception, the king spends a passionate night with her. However, when morning arrives and the truth is revealed, the king reacts with anger, ordering his guards to throw Dura out of the window. Fortunately, luck favors her, and she survives the fall, getting stuck in a tree. Eventually, a magical occurrence takes place. A witch approaches Dura and casts a spell, transforming her into a breathtaking young woman with flowing hair. The next day, while the king is hunting in the woods, he encounters the stunning version of Dura and becomes entranced by her beauty. Once again, he believes he has found his true love and brings her to the castle, intending to make her his queen. On the day of the wedding, Emma is also invited and is taken aback when she sees her rejuvenated sister. Curious, she asks Dura how such a transformation was possible, to which Dura playfully claims that she simply peeled off her old skin. Tragically, Emma takes her words literally and seeks out an ironsmith, offering her own skin in exchange for a necklace. The ironsmith readily agrees and carries out the gruesome procedure in the woods. Emma returns to the castle, bloodied and weak. Unfortunately, her injuries prove fatal, and she passes away. Dora's happiness is short-lived as the magic begins to fade, causing her to gradually revert to her original elderly state. Fearing further complications, she flees from her own wedding and disappears, never to be seen again. In the third story, the king exhibits strange and childish behavior. Having lost his wife long ago, his unmarried daughter is the only family he has left. However, he does not truly love her. One day, the king notices a parasitic insect feeding on his hand, but instead of swatting it away, he allows it to continue. He goes to the extent of keeping the creature in a glass box and feeding it with his own blood each day. Over time, the insect grows larger and more ominous. The king becomes utterly absorbed in its presence, neglecting his daughter's well-being. However, one day, the cherished parasite falls ill and dies. Devastated by the loss, the king finally decides to marry off his daughter, Violet. He devises a grand competition, announcing that the victor will have the honor of marrying the princess. Although Violet is both excited and apprehensive, as she had hoped to find love on her own terms, she agrees to participate, and the news spreads throughout the kingdom. Surprisingly, the king displays the dead parasite's skin in his palace and declares that whoever can correctly guess the name of the insect will emerge as the winner. The palace is flooded with hundreds of hopeful suitors, all eager to win the hand of the princess. However, none possess the wisdom to guess the name of the mysterious insect. Frustrated by the lack of success, the king fears his daughter will remain unmarried. Just as all hope seems lost, an unexpected guest arrives. An ogre appears at the castle and correctly guesses the insect's name. Though Violet realizes she must marry this ugly creature, she initially contemplates a tragic act. Yet, her father manages to calm her and convinces her to proceed with the marriage. The ogre takes Violet to his mountain cave abode, where she is confined and fed only raw meat. However, one day, while the ogre is away hunting, Violet spots a woman on a neighboring mountain and feels a glimmer of hope. She shares her predicament and implores the woman for help. The woman promises to return with reinforcements. True to her word, the woman arrives the next day with her family, successfully rescuing Violet. But during their escape, the vengeful ogre catches up to them, brutally eliminating each member of the woman's family. He then takes Violet to another cave, where he embraces her passionately. Seizing a moment of distraction, Violet takes out a knife and ends the ogre's life once and for all. In the final scene, a bloodied Violet returns to the castle, holding the ogre's head in her hand. The sight terrifies everyone, including the king, who falls to his knees, seeking forgiveness. Violet simply states, "This is the husband you chose," and breaks down in tears. The story concludes with Violet being crowned as the Queen of the Kingdom. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen, and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.